Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and I'm going to read way too much into Contact. With Arrival on the way, I thought it'd be fun to go back into Contact. I haven't seen it since I was a teenager, so to get to watch it again, it was really cool and it was really fun. Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey, great performances from them. It's crazy how young Matthew McConaughey looked. He didn't just look it. I mean, he was young. 1997. I really enjoyed watching this movie again, and in reading way too much into it, there's just so many places you could go with it. But as I'm looking at this movie, Contact, it's really about making contact with something greater than yourself. Because when you look at Jodie Foster's character, Ellie is a woman driven by the search for meaning. She's driven by the search that there's something out there and that we can't possibly be alone, because as they say in the movie, that'd be an awful waste of space. And so that's just what is driving her through this whole movie is the faith that there's got to be something else out there. She's also got great amount of faith in the scientific method. And then you contrast that with Matthew McConaughey, who is a man of faith. As he said, he's a man of cloth without the cloth. I mean, he went through seminary and all that stuff. He just didn't really finish it. But, he becomes like this spiritual advisor. He is definitely a man of faith in this movie. So actually, you really do have two characters who are full of faith, but they're going in completely different directions. And I think that's what attracts the character of Matthew McConaughey to her, because he sees that drive to find truth in her. He really sees that faith in her, if she's not even calling it faith in herself, but he sees that in her. And I think it's one of the things that makes him really like her and really respect her in this movie. So one of the dynamics that I really liked in this movie was, as the movie starts, you have Ellie talking to Matthew McConaughey, really talking about things like, don't you think you might be deluding yourself, and how she needs the empirical evidence. And she questions, how could a God who created and made all the universe leave absolutely no evidence or proof of his existence? And that's why she can't believe in God. And even when she's, sitting in front of that committee where they're trying to figure out if she could go in that little sphere thing that's supposed to be sent to space to make contact with the aliens that they finally eventually make contact with, that's the big question they ask her. Do you believe in God? And she basically says no. And they turn her down to go, not just because she doesn't believe in God, but if 95% of the world has faith in some kind of supreme being, they want somebody meeting aliens that is a representative of that and is more of a representative of all humanity. And they're like, well, you kind of just said 95% of us are kind of in self-delusion here. And so that's why she doesn't get selected at first to go on this trip. And it's a very interesting dynamic, because you really do get the sense that she is very strongly opposed to the idea of God. Maybe she's not, maybe I'm reading wrong into that, but that's kind of the picture that I got. She was strongly opposed to that, but her faith is actually tremendous in this movie. Through defunding, through persecution, through being made fun of, she has faith that we're not alone in the universe, that there is something, there is someone out there, and she is so driven by that faith, she doesn't let anything get her down from doing the research she needs to do to raise the funds she needs to raise to find what is out there. Her faith keeps driving her, even if she wouldn't call it that or think it's that. It really is that. And then finally, at the end of this movie, where she gets to go through that machine and the ball drops and she has the most amazing experience. She sees the vastness of space. She sees beautiful things that can't even be comprehended in words. And then she meets one of these aliens that comes in the form of her father. And so she encounters a whole otherly world experience, and she also encounters the love of a father. And it's amazing what she experiences and what she recounts. But when she comes back and they send her back, for her, she was gone for 18 hours. To every single scientific instrument, to every single eyewitness, nothing even happened, and she never even went anywhere. So all scientific proof, all evidence, and all things that she used to measure whether there's God or not, or whether, anything like that, all measurements she used to be like, there is no God, are now the measures being used to say, you had no such experience. It did not happen. This was a huge, elaborate hoax by this really rich guy. None of this ever happened. And she didn't come back with proof. She had no proof other than the classified 18 hours of static. And so she had no way to prove her experience was real. But she knew her experience was real, and that dynamic was interesting to see her in that hot seat and look at Matthew McConaughey and suddenly be like, oh, okay, I get it. So to me, that was an interesting dynamic in the movie because she was looking for meaning in the universe. And it's not that she really found it, but through this experience of this great majestic beauty, through this experience of a father's love, through this experience, she was able to have faith there is something greater out there and that she is a part of something bigger than herself. Even if through this stuff she didn't get all the answers she was seeking, she got something settled in her heart, inside her, that she's not alone. The human race is not alone. And that's one of the things I truly loved about this movie. It really is the quest to find meaning. And more than that, it's the quest to find out that we're not alone and that we're not cut off. You know what amazes me? The universe is as big as it is. There are pictures of our galaxy, like 400 billion stars or something like that, looking like a speck. Our universe is that huge. We are so small compared to all of that, and yet God so loved the world that he gave his son that whoever believes in him wouldn't perish but have everlasting life. That we could be so small in this universe so big, and a God who is yet even bigger, and he knows us by name. So I believe a lot of our search to find something greater than ourselves is because we have that innate desire for that. And I believe that the love of the Father is waiting to embrace us at every given second, and it's something that I've experienced in my life, and I think it's awesome. What did you think of Contact? And are you excited for Arrival? Make sure to let me know in the comments. While you're there, hit that subscribe button. Be on top of all the new videos coming out here on Durbania. New videos like the next Durban experience to get us excited for Arrival coming out, all that fun stuff. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Hitting that subscribe button means you're not going to miss that. So hit that button. I'm Durban. Thank you so much for checking out Durbania.